back off the bye week, and we're back at Bam Bam's.
Favorite place.
It's my favorite place too.
We have that in common.
We do. What's your preferred go-to item here?
No question, the brisket. It's not even, I mean, not that the other things aren't good.
There's like brisket up here.
Brisket is just like, oh.
I have acquired a taste for the jalapeno cheddar sausages. I wouldn't think that would have been in my wheelhouse, but since I've discovered them.
With a Diet Mountain Dew.
Absolutely.
I bet that just is right in your wheelhouse.
That is the chaser.
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay, good.
All right, so people tend to think that the bye week means like the week off, and it's not really. Now, your Saturday may have been a bit different, but it was a pretty hard work week from what I understand.
Saturday, the only thing that's different is rather than coaching a game, Holly has a list of about 500 chores for me to do. So, yeah, other than that, it's the same.
You said you watched 1/4 of one football
game. Did. Oregon State, OSU.
Alma mater.
Yeah.
Against USC.
Yeah.
Didn't turn out so well.
I saw the Hail Mary right before the half.
Yeah.
We'd lived that against Houston, and that was just enough off.
We're seeing one of those every week, it seems like. Holly watched more football.
She did, and you'll have to ask her which games, because I was outside doing chores while she was watching football.
You were taking care of your list.
Exactly right.
Is she the kind of person that will watch in a very cerebral way, or will she be
yell at the screen
she's
kind of animated and lets it all hang out, because in our stadium, she's in a box, but there's still eyes upon her, and yeah.
She gets to let loose.
She has to be on.
Yeah, what's the appropriate in-box demeanor for the coach's family during the course of the game?
So there's the fishbowl, and then there's the box. They're the same. And so, yeah, there's eyes going into the box, and then, so she's on her guard. Normally stays till halftime and then goes home and lets her real self.
Gets to really enjoy the game.
Exactly right,
yeah.
And the kids too.
Are you used to being on camera yourself all the time?
That's kind of an acquired taste, and so it still makes no sense to me, other than it just comes with. It only makes sense if it comes with the job of BYU football coach. Then it makes sense. When you put the personal part in it, it's like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but you see that part of the job as being it just comes with the territory.
Exactly right, and if you then look at it more opportunistically as to how you might be able to do some good, then yeah, it's good.
And during the bye week,
I was just talking to Jim Rome, by the way.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
So this will air. This will probably.
That's why actually my hair is done, kind of. Is it done? You got a haircut,
looks pretty well coiffed. Yeah, we both ended up getting haircuts for this year today.
Yeah.
So you did the Jim Rome thing, and this will hit online maybe Wednesday night. So this was a Tuesday appearance, I guess you did with Jim Rome. How'd that go?
Pretty good. So yeah, I like it because I get to speak frankly and bluntly. Well, I just get to be me, and he likes that.
It's what, like 5 or 6 minutes? You get to
6 minutes.
Yeah.
Second segment, and so he does a nice job of just asking appropriate questions that allow you to have relevant answers. You know, not just superficial garbage, but actually talk about stuff that matters.
You've gotten to know a few national guys that way, and he's one of them that I think you go on pretty frequently because you like the way those conversations go.
Yeah, and I for anyone that will actually ask questions of substance that allow some depth and understanding and actually want understanding, then, man, I love those ones. The ones that are just the typical superficial.
Big game this week.
Yeah, I mean, come on. How long does it take to get ready to ask that question? You know, I mean, add something.
So, and Jim had Taysom on his show last week. Taysom had the opportunity to go on a few national shows, and that comes with a 4-0 record and him playing as well as he's playing.
It does, and also one of the real challenges right now, I think in college football, but at BYU, is I'm not sure if anyone's talking about like the Pac-12 champion, or who's going to be that, or the Big 12 champion, or the Big 10. It's only about the playoff. It's like we've lost this entire emphasis on who our conference champions going to be now.
It's who are the four.
Who are the four.
Yeah.
There's 129, or there will be 129 teams, and now who are the four, and we're talking about it in week 4. I think we've really created some unintended consequences for the college game that are not very healthy. And so because we're 4-0, we're viewed as what are the chances, and we've got 8 regular season games left to even, holy cow. And so if it's happening to us, it's happening to others, and the amount of time I'm spending on trying to put up firewalls around our team just to keep them focused already in week 5. Yeah. Again, because of the 4, I'm not sure it's going to be good for college football.
But as an independent, the fact that you've made it to that conversation says a lot about what you've been able to establish.
It does,
so
and
far.
it's really positive, and so I'm not complaining about the place that we're in. It just is the paradigm has shifted now as to what it's being framed against.
And the fact that you've gotten to 4-0 with the attention you've received, does it not, in a way, kind of justify the objectives that independence, was founded on for you guys?
It's absolutely right on, especially with the amount of games we've played in front of so many people on national TV already. So our ESPN partner, which is what they are, has been critical in terms of exposure. Without the exposure, we might be noticed to some level, but because we've been on ESPN and played the teams we have, 33rd hardest schedule through 4 games, respectable, but when you put those games in front of all those people, and then you have a player like Taysom, man, exposure plus that kind of team and that schedule, pretty powerful.
So you're on a roll into October. Are you mindful, or do you consider the fact that one loss and poof?
Oh, sure, sure. And so I acknowledge that in conversations like this, and when I'm versus the media, and our team basically knows it's 12 one-game play-ins.
Right.
And which is really the next game is the most important, old adage, so it all applies. And it's poof if a national championship or the playoff is your only goal. It's not poof if one loss, top 10 ranking maybe, killer bowl game, and reaching a team's potential is your goal. And so really, all I framed it as I do every year, is having this team reach their potential and them determining what that is. And the outside is saying, if you're not in one of the 4, poof, it's gone. There's a lot of sub-steps between there.
But I think for BYU, New Year's 6 has to be as much of an objective as playoff. To me, at least the way I view it, with this year's schedule, 12-0 may not even get you in the playoff. It might, who knows? But certainly New Year's 6 is right in the wheelhouse if you're there.
I think, and if that does happen, then what an amazing experience for the kids that play here, for the school, and quite frankly the church and exposure. So there's just, again, so many sub-steps and so many things that are meaningful to play for. And now after we acknowledge all that, we have Utah State, which would like nothing better with a good team to come and play us and beat us at home. And so, but that's the cool thing about rivalries and college football, is you get to play those games and you never know what's going to happen. And you watch scores each week and somebody somewhere pulls it off. And so, there's risk in playing rival games, but it's also college football, and rival games are what college football is all about.
You've been historically able to look toward 2 big in-state games every year, Utah and Utah State. That number's down to 1 this year. And for that notion alone, you think Friday's game is a bigger deal than it usually is?
No question, it's a bigger deal because it's college football and it's a rivalry weekend on Friday night before General Conference, and that tradition is something that's really cool, and it gives kids and people an occasion to rise to and schedule around and look forward to. And the thought that a rival game would go away for any reason, especially when you have control over who you schedule, makes no sense to me. You
want Utah back?
It's not only do I want Utah back, it should have never gone away, and it was controllable. And so it's sad that happened.
When it comes back, do you think it'll ever go away again, or do you think it was kind of like, we realized that wasn't the best way to go, let's keep this thing going?
Who knows? Who knows what will happen? I never thought the game would go away to start with, so who knows?
Now, Utah State coming into your place, we talked about it earlier in the week, but it's been so long since they've won in pro. It almost doesn't make any sense that it's been that long, 1978.
It doesn't make sense, especially when I watch their film, especially when we've played against them, and you look at the type of players and the type of coaches, and so it's really a tribute to Coach Edwards and all the former players that they're able to have done that. And it's a very difficult challenge, and we were taking it as such. And I wouldn't have known the statistic unless you shared it with me the other day, but it's really surprising to me.
Yeah, and because when you get into it, it doesn't take long until you see some things that you may not normally see.
Exactly right, and that's it'll be a really intriguing contest. 2 teams off of byes, with who knows exactly who will play at quarterback for Utah State or how that works. But what if it's Chucky Keaton and Taysom Hill, and Utah State and BYU? Pretty cool for a college in-state game.
Having now had the bye week in the rear view, do you think this is going to allow for a real re-energized, refocused effort this week and into October?
It's always hard to say. If you judge by practices, I think our team wants to play and they want to be good, and it hasn't taken much extra to get them going. Sometimes it does after a bye, and really, just to be honest, head coaches will spin it any way they can to make the bye sound good, or just however you need to say it. Luckily for us, our players have responded really well, and so ultimately people will judge how we play Friday night as, was the bye at a good time or not. You just got to make the most of it no matter when it is.
Good feeling about Friday?
Yeah, I just like the matchup. I think Utah State is a tough team, and one of the my most vivid memories of being the coach at BYU is losing up at Utah State. I don't remember the score, 30-something to not very much, and they beat us up there.
In 2010?
Yeah, and so they certainly have our respect, and they've done a really nice job with their program. So it's a good game. Okay,
well, I guess we've got the Aggie logo going up on the big board, which means we have to take care of Virginia, which was...
Yeah. Is this my same piece of chalk? Are you sure?
No, we're not.
Okay.
Put in a baggie, hermetically sealed.
Exactly right. Don't change up my chalk. Because if we don't play well, I'm like, it's coming down to the piece of chalk you gave me. Don't you think? Yeah.
Okay, so 41-33.
Oh,
Virginia.
I would not have been able to tell you the score.
That's why I'm here.
That shows you how much I think about the score. 41-33.
Second consecutive 8-point win. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, Utah State.
You got to cross out the Cavs.
Oh, thank you. There you go. Nice. So Utah State would look something like, oh, I already messed it up. That's okay, because then there's a state thing that goes like across there, but it's not supposed to have those little lines in there. That's pretty good. Utah State.
They'll get the job done for this week.
Yeah.
Absolutely.